This is a quick look at two Chuck G knives I got from a fellow Jersey Devil member, Dorian. I wanted to thank him for lending me his knives. These are really awesome. I've actually been really interested in checking out Chuck's work. He's been posting a lot of his work in process pics and some of his completed knives on JD, and it just seems like every single time he posts something, it just gets better and better. One thing I like about Chuck's work is he tends to do each Balisong very differently from the last one. Sometimes you'll see makers and they might have like a run of several knives that are somewhat similar to each other, but it seems like Chuck really tries to find a way to differentiate one Balisong or one knife from the other, and these are definitely no exception. This one is kind of a small little EDC Balisong that he built, and I don't know if you guys have a lot of experience with small Balisongs, but they tend to be pretty difficult to flip. The main intention and purpose behind a smaller Balisong is really to carry, to use. It's not really meant for flipping. All the ones that I've owned, like the Morpho, the Morpho, the 32, and I've handled the small fly. And I guess the 53 is kind of a smaller one as well. They generally don't handle very well. So it's mainly because they lack weight. They have pretty short handles. But as you can see, this is pretty much the same dimensions as a 32 or a small fly. But it actually handles very well. If you look at my flipping footage, you can tell that it kind of flows like a full-size Balisong. I didn't really struggle with it as much. Yes, the short handles are something to get used to, but the balance and the weight are pretty nice for such a small Balisong. Chuck used very large spacers here. As you can see, they go all the way up almost to midway on the handle, and I think that really contributes to the handling of the knife. It carries a lot more weight. Sometimes you'll see these smaller Balisongs, but they'll still have a spacer that instead of going all the way up here, it'll still be here. So it's just not enough weight for the handles, and it tends to be blade heavy and just generally unbalanced. But this particular user seems to be very well balanced, and I flipped pretty much just as well with it. Some moves are a little bit harder and trickier, but some complex moves like all the 0G stuff I can do just as easily. So I was really impressed by that, and I think this blade is just really cool looking. It's very unique. You put a Hayman on here. The handles, I think these are tie handles. Dorian might have to correct me, but it feels like it's tie. But it's a very, very nice looking knife, as you can see here. Simple skeletonized pattern, but just looks great. And I think he's having a pocket clip made for it as well, which would just make it that much more cool. Here's a blade, as you guys can see. It's just a really cool thing that he did with the blade there. So that's the small one. Has the standard T-latch. Here's the full-size one. Now this one is latchless, and the way he did it was he marked the bite handle with kind of looks like teeth actually. It's pretty cool. As you can see there, he marked it there, and it's here as well, so you can easily identify. I kind of need a little bit more of a visual cue than just markings on the bite handle, but I seem to figure it out okay on this particular knife. It's kind of hard to pick up here, but he actually anodized these skeletonized recessed holes with this like cobalt blue, which is really cool. Real subtle, but makes such like an impact on the overall design of the knife. As you can see here, he also kept the inside of those handles blue as well. It's real subtle. You can't really see it too well on the camera, but just awesome work. Real cool work. Both of these do use Zen pins, and I like how he really hid those well with just those tiny little holes. Very clean looking work, you know. It doesn't even show on the other side. The blade here also has the Hayman. It's just a great looking blade. And this full size handled pretty well too for flipping. Very well balanced. Handles are a little bit shorter than a 42 or say a Basilisk, but the balance was there. It is a little bit on the thin side, more like a Kimura, but it is rounded off. It's not so squarish, so it still handles okay. One thing that when I was looking at Chuck's pictures that he posts on the forums, the pictures of the Balisongs look a lot bigger. They kind of look more like if you've ever handled Sean Gretchen's work, Bali Ballistic. It kind of gives the impression that it's as big and as fat as those knives, and they're definitely not. They actually surprise me. They're more sleek and slender. As you can see here, they're more like a Kimura type of thickness. I think Dorian's actually having him make one out of thicker blade stock and thicker handle stock. But overall, it's not so thin that you can't flip it. And actually, I kind of like the thin profile. I mean, especially for something that you're going to carry. This is actually nice, you know, fits in your pocket and you don't really feel it. This would obviously, if you did carry, probably be in a sheath, so it probably doesn't matter how thick it is. But it's still, it still gives the overall appearance and feel of the knife a real sleek vibe, you know, the way that he kept everything just kind of slender. So I personally like it, you know, and it didn't sacrifice too much on the flipping performance either. So very, very cool. Again, just want to thank Dorian for lending me these two awesome Balisongs from Chuck G. He's got another one in the works actually that's going to be a little bit more intricate and I guess exotic than even these are. I think on that one he's going to be using thicker stock. I may or may not get my hands on that one, but I would really look forward to seeing more of Chuck's work. So thanks for watching, and if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments or send me a message. Thanks for watching.